Shalom. It should be clear to the entire world after the Syrian regime attacked innocent Druze in Syria to the point where Druze from Israel were crossing the border on their own into military zones of extreme danger to try to defend their brothers in Syria. So you have Israeli Druze, and you have Syrian Druze, and you have the regime which claims to want peace, but they will. Yeah, nice try. And out comes the EU and the United Nations and other organizations blaming Israel, criticizing Israel for sending in planes to help the Druze defend these citizens of Israel and their families across the border. And we get we get blamed. We get criticized for doing real humanitarian work, saving lives and sending food and medicine and everything these people need. They're under siege. I saw pictures of dead bodies in piles, okay? Is it enough? And yet the world uses it as an example. The Western liberal European world and their friends in the United Nations are blaming Israel. So with that in mind, who are we fighting? Who really supports us? And that's why we have to go it alone. But going it alone is what we've always done in the end, because that's what it means to have one God. When you have two gods or 50, you have no God. Because you just default to anybody you want, any force you need to default to. It's your stars or your charts or your healers or your priests, whoever you choose. But the Jews have one God and they have no default option. Either to be loyal to that God and his laws or to follow the way of the nations. Now, the nations have wisdom. The rabbis tell us to listen to the wisdom of the nations. But the rabbis tell us not to listen to the Torah, the laws of how to get close to God. We have no option except the Torah. As a people, of course, Jews are going to dabble in this and dabble in that and learn the New Age here and the healing arts somewhere else. And okay, but you don't make them your God. You understand that there's always a force behind these practitioners of spirituality. The Jewish people have one God. They don't have the option to default to. And certainly, you see the way the nations treat us with such hypocrisy, such dual-faced attitude. What's the solution? It's not to listen. The solution is not burying your head in the sand. It's closing the door and the window of your mind to falsehood. If someone lies to you, do you seek out their advice again? Do you seek a relationship with someone who lies constantly? The rabbis teach the stomach of the evil will never be satisfied. That means they don't even have control of their own desire for war, their own desire for bloodshed. They don't have control. They are possessed. And that's why the Torah says finish them off completely. Because they don't have control. And someone asks, do you make business deals with people who can't control their, the negotiations or their demands or their changing demands? You know, a friend of mine tries to buy a car and he goes with the money. And then the owner changes the price when he shows up with the money that they previously agreed upon. Or vice versa. So, you know, you can't be a man without a word. A human being is defined by the power of speech, his speech. And if his word is not a word, if he has no truth, there's no peace. And it's a sore to seek peace with those people. Just like you wouldn't go back to a lying lawyer to handle your next case. God forbid you need one. So where is our brain? Who are the people that keep seeking peace from Israel with the terrorists? The ones who are aligned to our enemies in Europe, in the United Nations, in the Vatican, wherever liberal, anti-Israeli, not Jewish, anti-Israeli. Remember, there's a difference, right? Don't you believe that? Wherever you see anti-Israeli words, verbiage, rhetoric, I'm astounded every day. I see new people I thought were a little clear-minded. I'm not going to start with names and lists. You can find those very easily. But what we have here is one God, one land, one people, one Torah. Join us. You choose victory. You go against the Jews, whether you're a Jew or not. If you go against the Torah and the Jewish people, you're on the wrong side of the war. And God should protect you anyways, because you're making choices from a deficient information service. Because the only one we can go to is the one who has the truth information. And that information is coming from all-knowing insight. What good is God if he's not all-knowing? If he can't guide us? If we don't turn to him, how can we expect blessing? So this Erev Shabbat, let's take it to heart. There's only one God. And everything else is layers of the pyramid beneath that oneness and that infinite, eternal wisdom that will guide us through every situation, including how to deal with terrorists. And terrorists that are supporting other terrorists. And giant multinational global consortiums that are also anti-Israel. The Torah will teach us everything if we just turn and listen. And when we do it, we get relief. We get peace in the heart by seeking a higher source, because our heart is too small to hold the bigness of what we're facing right now. I sit in my backyard, I hear the bombs and the rockets in Gaza. I go to the ocean, I hear the bombs and rockets over there. Wherever you go, you have the noise. But the noise is not to make us afraid of it. The noise is to make us raise our hands and our eyes to heaven and pray. God, protect us, protect our children, our grandchildren. May your Shabbat be a Shabbat of true peace, not the fake peace that they're trying to seek across these bogus tables in terrorist nations supporting places like Qatar and Cairo. These people are not thinking like we're thinking. And they can't until they really acknowledge that there is only one true power in the universe. And it's not choosing a religion that says you'll get 72 virgins in heaven. Or a religion that says that we killed their Savior. No, we don't listen to those people. We don't engage conversation. The Lubavitcher Rebbe said, do not seek one word of peace talks with the terrorists or their friends or the people that support them from behind the scenes. Because they can't. They don't have the ability to negotiate truly, because they're possessed by an external ego that controls their vision and their ability to interpret reality fairly and to adjudicate the masses of people who cannot judge themselves. Shabbat Shalom to all of you. The Shalom that you find only in your relationship to the one God.